Allah or random? Imagine standing in the middle of a crowded highway. Cars are speeding past at 200 miles an hour. The chaos is deafening. Suddenly, a single silent feather floats down from the sky untouched, landing perfectly in the palm of your hand. Is that luck? Is that just physics? Or is it a message? Right now, in late 2025, something impossible is moving through our solar system. They call it 3I Atlas. It is not just a rock. It is a visitor that defies the rules of gravity with a speed and trajectory that shouldn't exist. Science calls it a high eccentricity anomaly. But when you look closer at the numbers, specifically the number 6.139, a terrifyingly beautiful question emerges. Is the universe playing dice with us? Or are we staring directly at the signature of a grand architect? Today, we don't just look at a comet. We look for the hand behind the movement. To understand the miracle, you first have to understand the darkness. For billions of years, our solar system has been a lonely fortress. We have our family of planets circling the sun like clockwork. Nothing enters, nothing leaves. It is a closed loop. But then the gates opened. First came Oumuamua the scout. Then came Borisov. And now, the third and most extreme visitor has arrived, 3I Atlas. It wasn't born here. It is an interstellar traveler, wandering the cold void between stars for eons in absolute silence. It traveled light years, dodging black holes and nebulae, just to arrive here at this specific moment in human history. Think about the odds. It's like throwing a dart from New York and hitting a specific grain of sand in Tokyo. But here is where it gets strange. Astronomers look at eccentricity, how much an orbit deviates from a perfect circle. A normal circle is 0. Oumuamua was a shocking 1.2. Borisov was a 3, but 3I Atlas. It holds a staggering eccentricity of 6.139. Why is this number so important? Because in the language of mathematics, this number screams, I am not from here. It is moving too fast, too aggressively to be bound by our sun. It pierced the heart of our system in October 2025 and is now rushing toward Earth for a December rendezvous. This brings us to the first uncomfortable truth. In a universe of chaos, coincidence is a lazy explanation. When you see a clock ticking perfectly, do you assume the gears fell together by accident? Or do you acknowledge the clockmaker? 3I Atlas isn't just a rock, it is a disruption. It is a knock on our door. As we approach December 19th, 2025, this object will reach its closest point to Earth, about 269 million kilometers away. To the materialist, this is just data, a frozen rock passing at a safe distance. Just physics, they say, just gravity. But look deeper. Step away from the telescope and look at the philosophy. In Islamic theology, and indeed in the hearts of all believers, nothing is random. Not a leaf falls from a tree without his permission. Not a leaf. So what about an interstellar object traveling at speeds we can barely comprehend? The arrival of 3I Atlas is a display of absolute precision. It reminds us that the walls of our reality are thinner than we think. We used to believe we were isolated in a bubble. Now, 3 times in less than a decade, the universe has sent us mail from the outside. Consider the timing. It arrives as the world is changing, as humanity looks to the stars more than ever before. But what if the visitor itself is the message? There is a concept called the fine-tuning of the universe. If gravity were slightly stronger, the universe would collapse. If it were slightly weaker, stars wouldn't form. We live on a razor's edge of probability. 3I Atlas is a microcosm of this. Its trajectory is so extreme, its path so distinct, that calling it random requires more blind faith than believing in a designer. Imagine walking through a desert and finding a smartphone lying in the sand. Would you assume the wind and sun created it over millions of years? No. You would know instantly that intelligence was here. This comet with its hyper-eccentric path is that smartphone in the desert. It tells a story of design. The universe is not a cold, dead machine. It is a canvas. And sometimes the artist paints a stroke of color that defies the rest of the picture just to remind us that he holds the brush. But why now? The answer lies in the destination. It isn't staying. It's swung by the sun, it waves to Earth, and then it will be ejected back into the void, never to return. It is a momentary reminder of the infinite. We obsess over the material, the car, the house, the physical body. But like 3i Atlas, our time here is a brief, brilliant curve before we return to the vastness. What remains is the trajectory. What remains is the direction you were traveling. We return to the question random visitor or grand design. If you choose random, you live in a universe of accidents. You are an accident. Your pain is meaningless and your joy is a chemical glitch. The comet is just dirty ice with a high math score. But if you choose design, everything changes. 3i Atlas becomes a letter sent from the edge of creation. Its extreme orbit becomes a lesson in power. I can bring the distant near and send the near to the distant. Its journey becomes a testament to the precision of Allah's command. The Quran asks us repeatedly to look at the sky. Do they not look at the heaven above them, how we have built it and adorned it, and there are no rifts in it? The rift here is not just physical, it's a flaw in logic. There are no flaws in the design. Even a visitor from deep space follows a perfect, divine law. So the next time you look up this December, what will you see? You are not small. You are not insignificant. The same power that guided 3i Atlas through the dark void for millions of years is the same power that beats your heart right now. The comet didn't lose its way. It fulfilled its purpose. It arrived, it was witnessed, and it continues exactly as written. We are no different. We are cosmic visitors in these bodies. We are traveling a trajectory set by the Creator. The only difference between us and the comet is that we have a choice. We can choose to recognize the signs. We can choose to see the hand of Allah in the silence of space. The universe is speaking to you every day, in the movement of the stars and the beating of your own heart. Stop scrolling through life like it's an accident. Stop living as if you are a random collection of atoms. You were designed with purpose. If this sparked a fire in your mind, do not let it die out. Share this video. Tag someone who needs to remember their purpose. Subscribe and turn on notifications because we are just scratching the surface of the truth. The signs are everywhere. Are you watching?